President Trump gave a less than ringing endorsement of Secretary of State Rex Tillerson on Thursday, just a day before he left for his trip to Asia. In an interview with Fox News, Mr. Trump said he wasn't sure if Tillerson would stay in his position for the duration of Trump's term. Associate editor for The Hill, Niall Stanage, is in Washington. Niall, Tillerson is traveling with the president on this trip. What does this latest example of President Trump undermining his top diplomat do as they travel together on this major visit overseas?
It underlines the degree of tension between the two men. It's one of the worst kept secrets in Washington, I think, that personal tension exists, that it is a difficult relationship. And of course, it became particularly so whenever Secretary Tillerson was reported to have called the president a moron recently. He came out and didn't explicitly deny that, although a spokesperson for the State Department subsequently did. But that, I think, points to just what a difficult and turbulent relationship these two men have.
So President Trump is going to Asia at a moment in his presidency when the special counsel's investigation is uncovering things, making some progress, and approval ratings for the president are quite low. Is there a lame duck component to this where his counterparts in China and Japan may think this guy's out of here in 2 years?
I'm not sure about a lame duck component, but I do think that the president has struggled to command the international stage. And that's certainly not a partisan point. I mean, when Bob Corker, the Republican senator, came out recently and criticised President Trump, one of Corker's main points was that he believed or argued that international leaders didn't necessarily think that President Trump was telling the truth. Now, having said all of that, when he goes overseas, he's clearly representing all of the military might and diplomatic weight of the United States, and it remains the nation's sole superpower, really. So I think that obviously a meeting with President Trump is an important event for all of these leaders, even though they may have certain misgivings, frankly, about him.
House Republicans also unveiled their tax plan on Thursday. Does the president's absence for the next week impact the likelihood that that plan has of getting through and becoming law by the end of the year?
Well, Paul Ryan, the Republican Speaker of the House, was joking just a few days ago that it might make life easier. The idea being there that there has been sometimes when the president has seemed to overrule or reverse positions that Republican leaders in Congress believed he held. I think that the nature of a tax reform plan is that it's obviously very complicated. One gets into the weeds of things, and that isn't always President Trump's strength. Even his allies would admit that. So it could actually make it easier for the Republicans on Capitol Hill to negotiate this.
All right, Mr. Stanage, associate editor of The Hill newspaper in Washington for us, thank you very much.
Thank you.